So, as always, and as truthfully as always, thank you all for making it tonight. I look forward to what happenstance fate brings us. I want to welcome you all to Soup City Sins, Season 5, Episode 5. Don't stress what was. When we last left our coterie, Alexander and Hestia were dealing with the very real ramifications of putting a hungry, starving, ravenous, injured kindred in a room with living, breathing mortals. And while the group assembled by Lucio through his contacts with the Blood Tsar Safoa are willing and able to give beyond it hurting, there is still a cost to the conscience that is paid, and Hestia is dealing with that moment, overcome and bereft with those feelings of confusion, elation, satiation, her beast lolling sleepily within her, yet always craving more. Alexander lost a moment in trying to suss out the ramifications of Hestia's actions. Not just her actions, but how the humans in the room are responding as well, as if this is in fact a good thing, as if this was in fact something to be yearned for, craved after. While Clyde wraps up preparing himself to deal with the rest of his coterie, because he has, in the last few moments, the last few hours of the evening, rigged the game, as it were, staging the scene of his beast being cut loose and ending another mortal's life, writing it within himself as the circle of life. Humans were born to die, and so that this moment is okay, but just barely okay, because it was not a conscious action. It was the true enslavement of his conscious mind to his beast. While a few miles further south and slightly west, Dizzy sits on a curb with one of the newer hounds of the city, dealing with the ramifications of the missing, captured kindred who could have, or still could, depending on if they're found or not, answer to all or most of the happenings that have taken her crew from her, that have ruined a landmark in a land further south of the city, who have caused untold suffering to the coterie as a whole and to her individually. The fact that prisoners of war, potentially Sabat, potentially Anarch, potentially working against all of the above and for none of the above, has gone missing. And Lucio, standing phone to ear, having concluded a conversation with a childhood friend turned police officer, dealing with the real fact that there is and are still many hands at play causing strife through his life. Not just his life as a member of the coterie, but his life individually. His sister and her best friend, his all purposes adopted sister, threatened with police action. Directly across the street from the succubus, his childhood friend, police officer Elijah Kamal, under investigation by the nefarious Benjamin Gaiman of the Office of Professional Standards, better known to us as the Internal Affairs. And being a savvy individual, he is also aware as to the street price, the market value of the lives and blood that he has secured for the coterie. So, towards that end, while Hestia is still busy, let's start in alphabetical order. So Clyde, looking down on the scene of rack and ruin of the lives and how you prepared them, cleaning yourself of all of that and dealing with the fact that you ended a life without thinking, without purpose, knowing the burden that you have ahead of you. You are promised Ballard to bring him the head of the city's fixer, Norris. What's your first action of this particular portion of the evening?
Probably start to get a little what's the name for it? Self-conscious, anxious. Like when you have a moral hangover.
Yes.
Something like that. And probably start trying to locate one of these people that I ate between all the poisons that are swimming in my noggin. And maybe trying to remember at some point that I wanted to contact Dizzy.
As you cipher through preparing yourself for this portion of the evening and ending and coming to grips with what has taken place, a thought of Dizzy does cipher through, but the thought of Dizzy ciphers through as that scientist who eased into your conscience and took up residence steps to the fore. It's not quite stepping into the light or stepping up to a microphone, but his voice grows a little louder. His presence a little more forcefully in your head. You are aware that the natural evolution of humankind is toward not being humankind.
That's only the physical part. The humanity part is the most important.
Yes, but humanity in its steps of evolution becomes less human and less humane by the day. It is the natural evolution of mankind to not be mankind. So what you did was assistive. It helped those individuals towards their goal of being better or not being at all. You did a good thing today. It was a great thing for humankind. The fewer outliers, the weak and sick being cold, is a part of the natural world, making it better. You should take pleasure. You should rejoice in the fact that a few more weak, deplorable humans are gone.
Well, you remember that town Waco? It should be Waco, and yes, we all are.
Yes, well, accepting the truth is never an easy thing. You should see how far you can help mankind evolve. The fewer people there are, the faster humanity can grow.
We are not going that path. At least not now. No. I put my well, I know it doesn't do anything because it's inside my head. I cover my ears with my fingers. La la la.
Very well, deny it all you wish, but you know what must be done eventually.
La 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 la.
And as you tune out the voice inside your head, the idea of you needing to speak with Dizzy steps into the forefront of your thoughts as you're able to tune him out. As you, not sure what tune that is that helps you, but it's there. There's a musical component to it. La 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 la.
I lower my hands. In other circumstances, they probably will be clammy, but they are trials every night. That probably gives me the pangs of the reality that I was trying to escape again. But I remember that I wanted to contact Dizzy, and let's try to see if I can get her by phone.
Normally, that would be a very easy yes. Unfortunately, in the last 2 nights, Dizzy has changed her phone, much like Hestia, so there is a small bit of communication gaps there. So you dial the number, but it goes nowhere. You get a busy signal, which is never possible with a cell phone, or at least it never should be. And yet, you have a busy signal.
Can I try to use premonition?
Yes.
So first the rose.
Yeah.
Success. And then premonition is it's been a while since I've used it. I think it's charisma and aspects. Let's check.
Give me one quick second. I did not have my cheat sheet up. I didn't. I'm slow today. But no, that's the wrong cheat sheet. I know that it includes resolve. Bear with me one quick second. We're gonna go a little low tech here because it'll be faster for me.
It's resolve and aspects. I have it open.
Thanks so much.
Yep, that's it. Resolve for this week.
Yes.
Three successes.
Haha. And as you stand there, fingers finally removed from ear, having splashed a little bit of water to rinse away the blood, as it leaves your skin and pools in the sink before you, an image forms and rises up out of the blood. It's a wolf. And the wolf changes into a nine-tailed fox. From a nine-tailed fox to a dragon.
Who else is in the haven?
Right now, there should be Lucio, Dizzy, Alexander, and the haven. You know that Aiden is not a factor anymore, but as far as the rest of your coterie members, also who should be in the haven, but those images really don't have a clear-cut balance to them, and so as you're peering, trying to figure out the logic behind them, the very real Asiatic theme of them all sticks out, you know, and you see the Three Happiness restaurant at the anchor point of Chinatown. You see a band playing, and you see a young, powerful beast laid low. And then everything starts to congeal into an amorphous, shadowy form before it splashes back down into the sink.
I'm gonna try to find Lucio.
That's easy enough. You know, he's downstairs somewhere. He should probably be in the morgue or near the morgue. So as you head back downstairs to find Lucio, we will dance along. Dizzy's next. Dizzy, you are sitting there with Shane. The fact that he was clearly a troubled youth, if not, and not too bright even during his mortal days, or pretending to be not as bright as he was, could be, becomes obvious. The fact that he responds so vociferously to G, letting him know that his fucking mic is still open, says a lot. He hangs up and turns the phone off. ending the text, ending the call, closing everything down. And while normally in movies that's all it takes, you kind of either have to take the battery out or destroy the phone if you're trying to stop all surveillance once you've been compromised.
Did you guys get everything on me you needed there, Chief?
Really? I'm sitting here with you. You think that I've setting you up? No, I've asked for your help because I really don't want to take the fall for this, and I don't want you to take the fall for it. We're supposed to be sticking together. We're supposed to be hounds, after all.
Well, I mean, sure, but I mean, you just came out here with your mic open and taped me after I accused you of it at the beginning. You said, "Nah, bro, that ain't what I'm doing," but it was totally what you were doing. So, am I supposed to just be like cool and high five? You want to make out or something? I mean.
Yeah, I'm covering my bases, but that wasn't the point of what I was doing. I was taking pictures of Genghis. He switches out cars every once in a while, knowing that he's driving such a ugly, bland. What was that, Chevy?
Yeah, I don't know.
Plus, it's not every day you see so many anarchs in one place so openly. They clearly came to do something stupid or worse. You said you were in Dalton, so you know how bad they can get. Whether it was just them and Diaz, like you say, or it was just them.
Well, I know he said most of them came from Gary, whoever that is. So, or wherever that is. I don't know, man. I really don't know what to tell you.
Well, let me ask you. Being, you know, we're done throwing lobbing balls at each other. We kind of on the same side, right? How would you feel?
How would I feel? I'm pretty pissed off at the moment. That's how I feel.
Exactly. And I don't want someone pissed off at me specifically because of whatever they did or whoever did. You know how important old girl was supposed to be?
Hey, she was more important to me than anybody.
Yeah, you say that. Do you know who she was?
She was the person that knows where my people are, and that's all that matters to me.
Good to see you got the priorities in order. She was part of the most recent rebellion against the tower. And now you say she works with Diaz or has somebody working with her with Diaz. And they might be Sabat, which explains why Dalton left the tower.
I know, right? It's all just some mixed up bullshit. It's like a giant candy cane of suck.
So yeah, my mic was open, but only because I was taking video of Genghis's car and all the other anarchs that you had gathered around you out here.
Dude, they were all gone when you came out here.
That's why I was filming from the door. You think I'm stupid?
Whatever happened, happened.
Yeah, the fact that he can call them up. How long did it take you guys to get everybody here?
Well, I didn't call anybody. I came with Genghis, and then I remarked that I didn't know that we could handle her, just the two of us, and then he called in the fucking army and switched the whole script on me and decided that he was going to help form his own little fucking line in the sand rebellion here tonight.
Yeah, that's bad. If he can get that many people, that many kindred at his back and call that quickly.
Yeah, but they don't like him. In fact, the chick that was in charge of all them made a big deal of not liking them.
Well, he is kind of an idiot, if I do say so myself.
Well, like I said, he's the rich kid at the party because it's his house, and that's the only reason.
Genghis is rich, dressing like that. The ripped jeans, the dirty boots.
Dude, you know what people pay for that shit?
Yeah, $10 at the resale.
You need to get out more, dude.
Yeah, well, clothes were never really my thing. I like muscle cars and a little gambling. Of course, this job don't pay much of shit.
Yeah, but it's not like you got to eat.
I don't know about you, but do you know how much it costs to take somebody out and make them think they're about to get laid? That's an easy $200.
Why would I pay for that?
Women's lib, suffrage, right to vote, and all that good stuff. Isn't it like equal pay for equal time?
You know what, bro? As long as it's keeping my belly full, I can be old-fashioned.
That's just wrong. That's just so many shades of wrong. But whatever, man. Like, if I could not have to pay, I definitely wouldn't either. Guess that's probably why I rob everybody. And as he begins to cackle, laugh, you realize that you guys are being watched by a very lovely blonde who is frowning as if she's deciding, as if she's weighing and measuring the both of you. And she's standing in front of the door that he exited, which leads down into Damien's haven and safe space for prisoners and the like.
I'm guessing the last time I saw this blonde, she was sitting in a bathtub with a whole bunch of other people around.
She was. Very much is a lot. When you do that, she does have her own presence, the own weight of her being, which, if you do say so yourself, is definitively less sane than it should be. Because she weighs back and her face cracks into a wide smile, and you could swear that if you guys were old friends that went to school together. And she bounces over as if she has not a care in the world. Hey guys, how we doing?
Not great. How are you?
Not great seems to be the theme of the day. So I was in the middle of disemboweling one of the big ones. And why one of the big ones? I know what you want to know. How big was he? I didn't look down his pants. However, one of the big ones is an old anarch from back in the day. A Mr. Carlisle. Do you know how big of a news that is? He was supposedly killed back in the 90s, but yet he survived somehow, and I found him. And you want to know where I found him? After spending several days tracking down a gang of thin-blooded waste of unlife. He was there attempting to speechify, attempting to get them to work with him, for him, or for whoever he's working for. Haven't broken him yet. And I was just about to the point where I almost thought he was going to break. And then I hear that my sheriff, my friend, my buddy, my pal, the one, the only, the incomparable Damien was missing. So, Gabriella, our newest operator, tells me that the things were being settled, that she put people she trusted, hounds she'd never met, who said they could take care of it. So I said, okay, fine. I'll continue ripping the life out of Carlisle, which is kind of fun. He's tougher than you think, surprisingly. And as I'm working my way down, or up as the case actually is, and get to the large intestine. I've already got the small intestine out. It's pooling by the left side. You won't believe how long intestines actually are. But if you find a bucket, you can just throw them into it. A 50-pound drum I find works best. But anyway, all the same, I'm to the large intestine. And then my phone is going off. You know how hard, difficult it is to get blood off your hand and to use a touchscreen? So horrible, horrible thing. I would not espouse it. Unless, of course, you have about 75 wet wipes. Or high pressure hose. Either way. So I answer my phone. And it's not a call. It's a stupid text. I hate texting. And she sends me pictures. And you know, she has no idea of volume. She texts really loud. And it's up here. And then she says that Shing says. And I come and I check and I make sure. Because, you know, Shing is stupid and he sometimes misses things. But he's right. Well, is he right? No. He's right in telling her, and she's right in telling what he told her. But anyway, the 3 people, the kindred that we were going to question once we got the okay from Prince Jackson, and they were going to be my next masterworks art pieces, is what Luke calls them. They were going to be my next installation. They're gone. And Damien's not here. And there were a bunch of anarchs here. Including that wannabe fuckboy Genghis. So yeah, not great. Not great at all. Did I miss anything?
I don't think so. It's your story.
No, my story would have had a happy ending. But that can turn around. We can have a happier ending. Because, well, anyway, we'll get to that point later. So, what do we do? How do we get them back? And who do we have to kill? Do we have to kill one of our own or any of our own just yet?
Well, I think first we need to be sure who has them.
Well, if we kill everybody who had a hand in doing anything, we'll find who has them. And if they're up and moving, that'll be fun too. I don't know if you were there, but I remember how difficult it was bringing them down. Except for this time, instead of having split forces walking into a trap, being set upon by God knows how many unknown shadowy creatures from the hoary pits of hell, we can just target them specifically, one at a time, and hunt them down like the dogs that they are.
I mean, we could do that, or we could go and find some facts.
Who even faxes anymore? Everybody texts.
With a T, dear. A T.
We shouldn't be eating or drinking, and it all comes out in the end. But no, I was just joking. You notice that while she's bouncing off the wall and speaking at such a rapid pace, that her eyes never leave Shing's head. And head only because he's doing everything he can to not specifically look at her. He's looking at her out of the corner of his eye, keeping his gaze on you.
Dizzy is not as squeamish. She actually finds her amusing anyway, and she's ridden in the car all day with Crazy, so that's not a big deal.
Shing. Yeah, Alexa, do you have anything to say for yourself? I asked Cyprian, but he's not here. He was smart enough to go about some job. You were left with the responsibility of watching everything. So, the moment that you found, half an army of clearly non-Camarilla vampires, you should have called, right? We can agree on that. Can you agree on that? I didn't know they were here. You didn't know they were here. What about the security cameras? What about listening? That many people, that many cars, this late in the evening? Oh my God. It gives me heart palpitations just thinking about the noise of the cars pulling in and people gathering, especially in such a quiet place as this. You know, the reason why Damien chose this place is because it is so quiet and everything blends together, so there's very few people that naturally come into this area. So raised voices, a lot of activity, a lot of traffic. What do you think, Dizzy?
I mean, you make a valid point, but in his defense, they weren't here very long.
So you're saying that he called as quickly as he could?
Well, no, obviously he didn't call you. I mean, that's between you and him. But as far as him noticing things, they weren't here very long.
That sounds... She stops. She smacks her lips, and then she reaches aside and pulls out a bit of hair. Huh. I don't even remember biting his skull. I tell you, it gets everywhere. So, Dizzy speaking up for you, Shane. So, being a she speaking up for you, and G is speaking up for you. Although speaking up for you does involve a few insults, but we'll give you a shot. We'll give you a chance. We'll give you an opportunity. Because after all, this is America. You can make whatever you want of yourself. I think the best thing for you to do is to track down and find any and every clue you can, so that there's a person or persons that we can aim at to get them back. And I'd start now if I were you. He stands up, and clearly the low man on the totem pole all of a sudden. And as he stands looking from Dizzy to Alexa, he's smart enough to back away without turning his back. As he's backing and easing away, Hestia, you've killed before, many years ago, and it cost you then and it costs you now. Not in any way that it should hurt as much as it does, especially being as they're so willing and so giving and offering of themselves. But the fact is, you ended someone. You took from them everything that they had, everything they could be. And while they're overjoyed and your beast is satiated, the conscious portion of you, the portion of you that has always cared for those in the world, the humans about you, one of the founding reasons why you are here at the shelter to begin with, rebels and mentally vomits in your head. What's your next action of the evening?
She's going to swallow down the scream that's building in her chest, and knows that the beast won't give up the blood that she just took in willingly. So that's a lost cause. It's just there now. Otherwise, she'd probably throw up. She's kind of gonna stumble to her feet because being around them right now is making it so much worse. Because while she's staring at the body that was just removed, she's still seeing the others that want to seem to press forward and take that one's place, and it's messing with her. She's trying not to look into the shadows because she doesn't want to see the spirit of this now dead woman walking around in the haven before it gets sucked into the abyss or void. The only thing that comes to mind for her is she knows that Damien is still downstairs and still needs blood. So she kind of stumbles towards the case and rips one open and grabs some of the containers and tries to stumble back down towards the morgue to get that taken care of.
The steps are cold. The hallway is as quiet as the grave, which is the natural state of affairs for the haven. You're careful to not pierce the veil between this world and all of the others that lie just outside of it. Even so, and you would never have thought yourself capable of it, you miss the confusion and the taunting and the warm teasing that Forsapula's always brought to bear. Their presence in the haven somehow acted as buffer against the coolness that all of the other spirits bring with them. It's a warmth and a territorial marking that makes everything inside it a little warmer. You're noticing it now because your mind is pushing against the weight of what you've recently done and what you know, if given the opportunity to be laid low enough, will do so again. Their willingness is a tease because they don't have the compunctions to say no, to say enough, to even attempt to fight against going under. That survival instinct that most living beings have seems to be lacking from them. So, handful of day, you find yourself in the morgue looking down on the altogether far too healed body of Damien. The two broomsticks that Alexander used to stake him protruding Garrett. So as you stare down onto Damien's face, several things come into clearer focus. He's clearly strong enough to survive walking face first into an explosion. You can see, even with the healing done, the slightly charred tissue around the edges of his forehead and on his arms, across his shoulders, somehow across his chin and throat. You see the acid burns caused by Alexander across his face. And yet, staring down on him, there's also some other damage that you know you do not have enough blood, human blood or vitae, to heal. The fact that the blood inside these bags is not catenated, it is not chemically treated. This is the good stuff. This is the whole unsaturated blood. But it's not blood. It's too thick. It is too viscous. Which means it's either plasma or vitae, or a combination of the both. It will rouse him. It will help him heal. But it most assuredly, in the quantities that you have, would not be enough.
Since I'm at 0 hunger, but I have a high blood potency, I'm going to give back some of what I just got, put it into a vessel, and use that first, and then switch it out for the other blood. But I'm not going to give him my rest. That's not happening.
Okay. With the blood he's consumed already from Lucio and Alexander, and what you're preparing to offer him, it should put him just over how much Vitae are you risking? 1 rouse roll's worth or 2?
1.
Okay, go ahead and make that rouse roll for me.
I don't know. Maybe I should do 2. I mean, I can always go top up, obviously, as aberrant as that thought is.
Yes. There definitely is that option available to you. So taking the ceremonial dagger that you attempted to end Sylvia's life with, that you fought for your very own life with, you open a vein, you summon your Vitae to flow. The scent of it, not nearly as intoxicating as that of the humans, a floor above, nor that rich, thick, wonderful stuff that the thin bloods have. That's a cross between human blood and Vitae, but it definitely does the trick as you mix it in with the other packs in your hand and funnel it into his gullet. While in this state but not in torpor, he can't move, but he would be aware of everything that's going on around him.
So once I get like a good half of the blood down, including what I put in, I'm going to remove one of the stakes.
Okay.
And see where that gets us.
Sadly, still being staked as he is, there's not much response that you get physically. It would require you to be able to reach across the void and speak to him mind to mind to somehow invest that otherworldly communication. Otherwise, it would require removing both stakes completely.
Okay, and then I'm going to go do the other half of the blood with the funnel and then pull the stake out after I finish the other half.
You've never been. Would you just kind of roll your composure? You've never been afraid of Damien before. You've also never had the opportunity to have an idea as to how strong the Vitae in his system is, how lower of a generation he has to be. For the moment that stake is removed and the last droplets of Vitae-enriched blood course down his throat, he sits up, his eyes glowing red, his fingers twitching and flexing, and his fangs extended. This is as close as you've come to something that you know outside of any hope there wouldn't be a chance to fight against. And instead of leaping on you, it takes a second taking in the environment around him. There's a intelligence there. Feral though it may seem, there is an intelligence there, diagnosing how quickly to move through you, what's the strength of the walls around him, the voices that can barely be heard through the floor, the sound of people moving hundreds of feet away. And slowly, that bestial visage fades into the face that you know as Damien. Based on Lucio and Alexander's state of being injured and ravenous, you can imagine how much blood and vitae that they pumped into him, combined with what you've recently given him, that by your measure would easily be 6 or 7 mortals.
I'm watching him very closely, and I'm not making any sudden movements, but Hey, sleepyhead. How are you?
Don't take offense. What the hell happened? But you look like shit. What happened?
She smiles despite herself. Oh, I know. I look horrible. Well, I don't know how much you remember, but apparently you were caught in an explosion, and I had a high-level Tremere leader try to kill me and take my haven by burning me from the inside. So, fire bad.
Yeah. Do you have any clothes?
In your size? Probably somewhere in the shelter, but I cannot go get them for obvious reason. Motions to herself.
Where's Shane? Where's Cyprian? Where's Alexa? Where's Lucio?
Hold on. 1 more second. That's a lot of people. You're throwing a lot at me here. I just killed somebody, I think maybe a little bit. So, give me a second.
Did you clean up behind yourself?
Yes? Question mark. I kind of had to get away because the rest of them were trying to get me to eat them as well. So, problem, yeah. Okay, Lucio outside, waiting on his ride. Shang, I have no clue. Last I heard, he was at your office. Alexa, again, no clue. Probably out killing somebody. Gabrielle has been panicking and texting everybody. I kind of destroyed my phone because surveillance is a problem. But they know we have you, as far as I know. So, yeah. There's that.
Alright. You got a car?
Yes, I do.
Come on, we gotta go to my office. I got a stash.
Are we taking Sylvia with us? Because you're the sheriff, and I had to stake her because she tried to kill me.
Is she safe? Secure?
Yeah, I guess. I can always put a padlock on that drawer.
Is she where anybody can find her by accident?
I'll go get a padlock. And she goes to get a padlock from her office and padlocks that specific drawer.
Alright, so you rush out to get a padlock, and he begins deciphering through what memories he has of dealing with ghosts and spirits, being blown to hell, as being attacked by some monstrous Assamite, It's a lot to deal with, a lot to process. The pain alone is enough to drive most people insane, at least temporarily. Luckily for you, he is considerably more controlled than he should be for the average rabble. While outside, Lucio, you are waiting for Arsenio to get back. You know, round trip, it should take roughly just under an hour, so about 56 minutes if he doesn't hit any traffic. Your phone call with Kamal is over for the most part. You know, he talks as long as he's working out, so ad nauseum. So you got another 20-25 minutes. You could probably squeeze the conversation out. But in truth be told, that touch of home, that touch of the past, that touch of things less chaotically kindred is a salve to the soul, even with your beast riding you like a redhead stepchild.
So I think that the part we ended on would be a good place to end that call.
So hanging up the phone while ending the call, because there are no more hanging up. In your case, you at least have the satisfying click as the top and bottom portions of your phone connect with you closing it. It's not quite the same as slamming a phone to end a call, but it's close enough in terms of that haptic feel. And as the idea of being able to hang up the phone with several people or exact some cost of vengeance against several kindred, namely Laura Blakeney, who is the monster that has haunted you. She ended your life. How dare she? While that may have been the plan of Don Castiglione, he didn't have the opportunity to. She did. And she took full advantage of it. And Clyde suddenly there at your side, clearly having looked all over the haven, because, you know, the secret tunnel up and out of the morgue is never anyone's first choice, usually.
Lucio is like quietly mumbling something to himself before he turns to Clyde. It's like, I'll get back when I talk from her. Hello, how can I help you?
I think that's my stick, man. Too many mumblers in this place. Never mind. So, you know where this is?
Dizzy, she's at Damien's office.
Well, because I had some weird trip when I was trying to find her. I was just trying to ask about some tin bloods I ran into, and then there was this wolf, and then this fox and a dragon. Total trick. Do you think she needs help? I mean, you said she's at an office, and I thought she was at a Chinese restaurant.
Okay, two things. Number one, I don't know how a wolf, a fox, and a dragon translate to Dizzy needs help. I'd be more than happy to learn how. And number two, you are absolutely right. She does need help. The last I saw, she was being surrounded by an anarch mob.
Oh, that was your friend then that was telling you this? I tried to keep behind your shoulder.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
I moved my head, like trying to be behind your shoulder. Take a look. I can't do it.
Yeah, I show him the images that were sent to me.
Clyde, During your living days, you covered a lot of things that happened in Chicago on the crime beat. Mostly political crime, the aldermen being aldermen, but there were a few instances where you had the opportunity to cover things a little bit more street level, more visceral. You know a gang meeting when you see one. There were a huge number of exposés, roughly about 500 exposés written on the various gang meetings taking place all over the south, west, and north sides of Chicago. That was assuredly, as sure as you do not need to breathe, is a gang meeting.
Looks like some shit is going down.
Yes.
Maybe the Jets and what was the other ones? The guys that sing about Maria? Yeah, something like that. So, I can lend a hand.
I mean, I would love to, but there's just two problems. Number one, I am extraordinarily hungry right now, and it is taking a considerable amount of willpower to not see you as a snack. Number two, I am short of a car, because my ride is off getting me some blood to prevent me from seeing you as a snack.
Well, if you ever try to beat on me, just remember that my Best Buy date was kind of long ago. I don't think you will enjoy that, but alright. Let's see what we can do for her. By the way, there's a bunch of dudes out there. They are just giving it up, really.
Oh, you're talking about the party that I invited in.
Whatever, the dudes are like, suck me, and this is the 80s, man?
Yeah, so I actually arranged for us to have them come over. You guys are all free to take from them as you see fit. I do not... Well, I don't take from people directly, so I will not be partaking. You all, however, enjoy yourselves.
The idea of not taking from a living person, taking from the vein either into a cup or into a syringe, is still a much. Remember that Alexander did carry up about 4 boxes as well while you were leading those 6 in. And whether those 4 boxes were filled with liquor or other party favors is anyone's guess, but the only way to find out would be to take a look.
Well, somebody call Domino's or something like that. I mean, people call me weird, then I give you the narrow eyes. Touch yourself. So
Yeah,
I'll see if I can find.
It's a personal thing. That's all.
All right, man.
So as you guys are talking, Hesha, you found the padlock. So how would you and Damien choose to leave, knowing approximately where Lucio is?
But the closest way to where I parked my personal vehicle would be through the shelter entrance. But then I have to make sure nobody sees me specifically. But I do want to the front entrance,
which would be an impossibility. Not being seen would be an impossibility. Not frightening someone else would be as equally impossible. And nothing is impossible. It's clearly improbable. being even understaffed and with having such a low population, low census, there are far too many humans in the shelter currently.
I mean, I could always run upstairs and get a cake or something. Pretend it's Halloween. But you have a point. So, yeah, the best way is probably out the back door and around. As stealthily as possible. Sticking to the shadows for myself, at least. Damien looks like Damien. He just looks a little scrappy because of the holes in his clothes, but, you know. We'll get him to his car. Or get him to my car. Would he still have his phone? No, his phone would probably be destroyed because of the explosion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do I have like another like little cheap burner somewhere? I should have more than one. Not the one that had the pictures on it, but like just a spare.
Yeah, but no one has the same context as he did, but we can. He has a plan in mind. So as you all leave through the morgue, passing by Clyde and Lucio.
Oh, okay, so we could see them. So stop really quick and show Lucio that Damien's up and moving. And we're heading back to his office. He has a plan, apparently.
Lucio, having seen what a half mindful Damien can do flying on autopilot, seeing him up and moving doesn't fill you with quite the same warm and fuzzies as it should, because you know that even as active as he is, having survived an explosion, having survived going more than a few rounds with a very skilled Hakamite, and being privy to all that the spirits in the John Stroyer Hospital carry with them, there's a small security issue present. He's not at 100%. More here than he was, but there very well is, unfortunately, a monster's monster walking with Hestia.
So, instinctively, I have my hand on my gun already. But I'd say to him, "Hey, Damien, feeling alright? You remember what happened?"
Unfortunately, I remember a good portion of it. I'm sorry about that. Hopefully you're not too hurt.
I'm fine, mostly. Just a little, probably running on empty, I guess, but hopefully that gets fixed soon.
Hestia had me choked down to blood bags. Do you have any more of those, Hestia?
Yeah, I could probably send somebody in to grab some. And they look very pointedly at Clyde.
You know, there is the party favors, I should say, that I brought.
I look at Lucio. Notice anything different?
You're looking a little bit healthier.
Which would mean?
That you took one of the party favors.
Yeah, about that.
Oh no. What happened?
A little too hungry for my own good. There are now 5 up and walking. I'll have to deal with that later, but for now we have things to do.
Okay, about that. So before we continue, I just want to make it clear. This cost me a small fortune, and I am hoping that some/all of you will be willing to chip in to pay for it. And of course that means you're all welcome to partake. That is why I arranged for this. So, if you think it will be better to fill yourselves up here before we leave, that might be a good idea.
Yeah, well, the same goes for you.
I have my own supply coming.
Yeah, but you have a supply here now. We have to get to my supply.
There's a bit of soft, self-depreciating laughter going on from Hestia while this whole conversation is happening, because it's hilariously ironic that we're talking about how much this is going to cost, but all she can think of is how much is that life worth? How much was that lady's life worth?
Is she saying this out loud?
No, she's laughing, but she hasn't said what. I mean, it's obvious that there's something clicking for her, but she hasn't said why she's laughing. It's just a very strange, strained laughter.
Look, I'm fine running a little low for a while. I can take it. I've done it before. And I have a very specific regimen, shall we say. So, if need be, I can have Arsenio either meet us at the office if we really need to go quickly. Unless there's some spare blood bags here or something.
There are plenty left in the cases. I only took what I could carry. There still should be some more.
Oh, those were... Okay. I will... Damien, would you like to come with me then?
No, I hate bags.
Fair enough. And at this point, I'll head to get those blood bags. And while I go, I'm gonna text Arsenio to instead meet us at the office.
His response is almost immediate. You can tell that he's either sitting in traffic or has come to a stop. Because while he texts in the car, he never texts while it's moving. He drinks while it's moving, but texting is another matter entirely. That's worse than drinking and driving. And as he's texting, his text is interrupted by one from G as well. So blood bags obtained. You realize that what you had mapped out in terms of cost for the sheer number of humans that were provided It is definitely considerably more, because as you take that first Capri Sun sip from the pack, you realize that this particular blood bag is full flavor. It is that magical, mystical blend of whole, unfiltered, with a hint of something more. It's not quite as refined as what Janice had provided you. There's no hint of music to the notes, but in sheer alcohol volume, as it were, this is clearly more than the standard. There's some major oomph to this.
Jesus Christ, she's intentionally burying me in debt. I drink it down. I've already bought it, might as well use it.
All right, so as you are heading back down, do you take 1, 2, or 3 with you?
I'll take 2.
All right. So as you're heading back down, Hestia and Damien go get her car. Who's driving? You, Hestia?
Which seems like it would be smarter because obviously I look how I look. I'm okay with him driving my car. I don't care.
Okay. Clyde, are you going to insist to drive? Considering that Hestia looks like the bride of the mummy, and Damien is clearly young enough where any police officer who sees him will want to roust the young, almost adult-looking face behind the wheel, and they'll find that his clothing has been shredded, that he looks as if he has survived being beaten within an inch of somebody else's life.
Yeah, sure, why not?
So you make it back downstairs and you realize that Clyde is behind the wheel of the car, Lucio. He has never been to Damien's office, and it's an open secret, as it were. So you all arrive from the Haven to Damien's office, a hair behind Alexa. So you see, as you're pulling into the parking lot, you see Alexa walking back and forth in front of Dizzy and Shane, and he begins to back away from Alexa. Dizzy, Alexa are sitting on the curb. Well, Dizzy sitting on the curb, Alexa's pacing some, clearly talking. And we'll pick up with you guys there in a hot second. But when Shane backs away, what's the first thought that settles with Dizzy?
I mean, she just watches him go.
Watching him go ahead, roll wits and awareness, because Dizzy's aware. She keeps her eyes about her from years of having to do so. The sheer survival instinct that settled in, moving from town to town, staying one step ahead, 2 steps away from as much danger as possible. There, as he moves back away from Damien's office and away from you and Alexa, you realize that sitting on the far side, probably the next little cul-de-sac over, are a row of motorcycles that hadn't been there before. On those motorcycles looks like the rejects cast from Sons of Anarchy. There's a blondish-haired, shorter gentleman on a bike with 8 hangers. There's another darker-haired gentleman sitting next to him, and they seem intently watching Shane. as he moves back away from Alexa. You know danger when you see it, and you've also seen those bikes before.
She will kind of side glance at Alexa and be like, "Psst, is that trouble over there?"
Alexa looks, shakes her head. Like, not this shit again. You shouldn't say that exactly. What she actually says is, "Puta de madre, pinche." Simmer. Why the fuck are they here? That is not a good sign, but it's not a bad sign. Those are the fucking Archons. That's the wolf pack. They're Shing's people. Jackson, they're from the tower, kind of, sort of. They're what we are, but like if we were the FBI, they'd be a combination CIA, NSA, and they're also, you know, same clan as Shane. Fucking wolves, always sticking together.
Okay, I won't get up then. Oh, and sandwich bag. Put your phone in a sandwich bag when you're working with blood. I saw it on Dexter.
Really? That works?
I mean, to a point. I wouldn't submerge it or anything.
Yeah, but then how do you get out? Well, I'll figure it out. I definitely figure it out. And I gotta get back to Carlisle. Carlisle shouldn't be there by himself. You know how they get when they're left alone. He'll get all whiny, get moribund, maybe find some little bit of bravery to try to puff himself back up. And I had him right on the point of breaking. And then these stupid... Oh, I fucking hate these guys.
I mean, if he's not sleeping when you get back, you get it, girl.
Yeah, but we need Damiens to take over here, especially with Sheen having fucked up. Because I don't like Rabble, especially the Anarch flavor. Normally, you guys are not you specifically, because I hear thanks to Shane recording most of your conversation, that you're Rabble too. I wouldn't have thought so. I thought you may have been maybe a blue blood or maybe a witchy-eared Tremere, but you never can tell, right?
Well, just like in life, I don't let my parents define me.
Yeah, I try not to either. But blood calls to blood. But anyway, so here's the situation. Those guys are going to be a problem. We're definitely going to be a problem. Not a bad problem, just a problem. I hate wolves, and if they're already here, I mean, oh God, this is ridiculous. And as she says, this is ridiculous. You guys are exiting the car.
Hey, look who it is.
Damiens! Oh my God, you won't believe what happened. I finally caught Carlisle. You want to know who he was with? And she begins to prattle on and on and on. She's clearly in a very, very active manic stage. Her exuberance, while not contagious, borderline infectious, because she's talking. And Clyde, would you be so kind as to do me a favor, roll a resolve composure for me, please?
Sure.
Disney, that's Damiens, but he looks a little thinner, he looks a little more haggard, he looks like he's been through hell. And the little old lady next to him, you're pretty sure is Hestia, but you've never seen her as decrepit as that. She looks as if someone is taking her insides and freeze drying them. Considerably better than she did, but yeah.
Must be a Wednesday. Dizzy will light another cigarette and just kind of lean back on her hands and watch everyone walk up.
Clyde, You've never heard more beautiful music than what you're hearing now. You are literally being swept along as if the ground is moving you like you're on an escalator towards where Dizzy is. It is the most engaging harmony in the air. There's a hint of a wolf howl in the distance, like some wilderness organic orchestra playing, but you hear the howl of the wolf in concert with the tune being played, the tune that's pulling you forward as if you're slightly hypnotized.
I start humming along, probably without even realizing it. Maybe popping my head and walking towards the music.
All right, everybody else would be scanners to roll your wits plus awareness or wits plus occult, whichever is higher. And while you guys make that roll, Alexa is still, of course, still speaking. So I finally caught him, and you wouldn't believe, as strong as he was, how easy it was to actually fool him into using his own strength. So I had him punch, and I dodged, and he went right into the cement, and then from the cement was quick hardening, not quick enough because he struggled, and he spewed it all over everywhere. And finally, when I finally got him, I hung him up using tow truck chains that I had already stashed because I thought that I might have to, take their whole trailer. And Lucia, what's your roll? And so I hung him up, and you wouldn't believe some of the things that he started saying. He's talking about old princes of the dead, like the fact that Modius isn't otherwise disposed, and that him leaving Gary was actually a trick. And wits. Either wits and awareness or wits and occult. And so I hung him up, and he's talking about the Toreador and how they're tied with the Anarchs. You would believe that. Are you serious? There's no Toreador in none of the degenerates in the entirety of the Triangle who actually are connected with them at all. But that's what he swears. He swears that he's actually a tool and an agent for them. Clyde, what song are you singing? What tune are you humming?
Probably something from my youth. Let's make it easy for everybody. Something by Bruce Springsteen.
And she's talking, and born in the USA. And so I had him hung up by the tow truck chain, and everyone notices that as she's interspersing her conversation towards Damien and nearly bowling him over with a very, probably too affectionate hug, that what she's saying interspersed with the song is the same song that Clyde is humming and under his breath singing. Lucio and Hestia, you all recognize those bikes on the other side talking with Shing as the same bikes that were outside of the Harold Washington Library when you all bartered for your lives instead of being otherwise physically punished or put to death for nearly killing Newberry. Hestia, you recognize partially what's happening between Clyde and Alexa from a similar instance that Noel had just outside of Sarasota. The Baron of Sarasota was actually a child of Malcav and had a similar reaction to Noel when they got in close proximity. It's like two frequencies bouncing off of and multiplying each other.
Cory means feeling like that one part in Moonstruck with Cher, where she smacks him across the face. Snap out of it!
I turn back and look at you like with a very puzzled expression. It's a good song.
It is. Why did you hit me? Alexa screams. I'm sorry if I'm too excited for you, but that's no reason to be putting your hands on me like that.
She's kind of looking back and forth between the two of them and then just groans. I need this night to be over.
I think that's a common thought, a common feeling. Dizzy, what happened here? What's your impression as the only person who spoke was Shane?
Well, clearly somebody took the prisoners. That's what we know for sure.
Wait, what?
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 Alexa?
Oh, yes, I already knew that.
No, you were supposed to say what? You broke the chain.
A chain of gold or a chain of silver is still a chain, all the same.
This is true. So yeah, that's what we know. There was a gang of anarchs here who may or may not be involved. They'd have to be the most brilliant fuckers in the world to have just put it together in the 10 minutes they were here, though.
Damiens sighs, looking suddenly older by the second. Between what Alexa actually conveyed, which was quite a lot, and the missing prisoners, and the fact that there are archons sitting across the parking lot who start their motorcycle engine and it literally sounds like a pack of wolves taking off or a roaring lion on the hunt. He looks from them to all of you and back. Do you remember who all was here?
Who all was here? I mean, I just met the two, well, the one that I met. The other one that I met, I had met before.
Okay.
There's a bunch of people from Gary. I know that much.
Oh, fucking hell. He looks at Alexa. Really? Alright, we need to get suited and booted. We have less than a couple of hours to find some definitive proof so that we can get in front of this. And he points with his thumb nearly over his shoulder towards the escaping sounds of classic road hogs racing away. Those guys, those people, those archons, it's literally a sign that our time is up. This experiment of new hounds serving the prince's will was always an experiment. We can't afford a loss. Otherwise, the deals that got most of us here will be revoked. And it'll go back to them calling the shots. And with them calling the shots, you think a pack of angry anarchs is bad. 5 pissed off and pissed on gangrel are worse. Because instead of just destroying everything to destroy it, they're targeted. Much like their name, the Wolf Pack. And it's 3 after the hour. We'll take a quick break here and be back at 13 after the hour. And it's 13 after the hour. Is everybody back?
I'm here.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
All right. So, when last we left our coterie and troop of hounds and deputy hounds, Damien was suggesting they get inside to his office so he can get a stash, they can go over a few things. In doing so, in traipsing inside to get a catalog of what has taken place over the last few nights and the bulk of this night, the weight of everything that has hit the fan is, while, more of the same for our coterie as a whole, presents a different view on several things. Namely, that there could be facing a revocation of their title and responsibilities, as well as the protections against punishment that provided. So they need a win. They need a clear-cut victory that is not just the but potentially the actual prosecuting of known criminals against the tower. Because according to Damien, if the Wolfpack has their way, they will be the only law of the land. So does anyone have anything that could assist that goal, with there being a little under 2.5, 3 hours to sunrise?
Lucio is trying his best to keep composed. And he is not doing very well. And he says to Dizzy, before this happened, you said to me that you had something you wanted to ask her. What was it?
I got a shit ton of things I want to ask her.
Please be specific.
I want to ask her where my friends are. I want to ask her why her fucking picture is on the Theist website.
What? Damien says, looking up from his earthenware pot filled with clearly still warm human vitae.
Yeah, I've been doing a little digging and a little arithmetic of my own while you guys are off doing your things. And, you know that van outside that's been watching us? You know that's from Theist, right?
We do now.
But that's inconsequential. I'm about a day away from taking care of that. And she'll pull out her phone and show, basically shove it at Lucio because she's still not real happy with him and she doesn't like his tone right now. The picture of chick on the theist website that she showed to Shang.
I take a look. Alright, I take a look.
It is Laura Blakeney with a different name. She is using a different identity, and she is listed as basically an area manager for information collection.
Oh, I am so tempted to crush the phone in anger, but I'm instead going to hand it to Damien before I do that. And as I do, I say, when we were at the that blew up, the drop house, I overheard them mentioning that they had a specimen at the airport. This was the same house that I saw her at. Same house that this Second Inquisition or theist is working at, or was before it blew up.
So wait, are the theists actually FBI, or the FBI, they were blaming it on the FBI? Because at one point the man said it was FBI on it. So were they doing that to throw us off? Or were we watched by two different parts of the government? I don't know.
You guys,
According to my friend in the van, they are there to collect traffic reports. They have nothing to do with any sort of government agencies or police.
Damien sits Dizzy's phone back on the table. Alexa and Clyde are bouncing to some music that is clear only they can hear. And he starts rifling through drawers on the back wall, pulling out a very well-used tablet, turning it on, and beginning to open up a text app and sends a quickly and hastily composed text before sitting it back into the drawer and turning it off. All right. So
wait, hold on. My next question is, did we even bother to examine how they got in? Did we, just for prints? I don't know. You guys are freaking detectives.
I haven't touched shit because I didn't want to be any further implicated in this than I already figured I was going to be.
Yeah, no, it's not you, it's Shing. Unfortunately, Shing has ties to the wolf pack.
I don't think he's smart enough to have orchestrated this. He could have certainly turned a blind eye, but I did directly ask him like 3 times.
Yeah, he's dumb, but he's not stupid. He's too hungry to have something to call his own, to bite the hand that feeds him without somebody else already feeding him. Theist is not officially any federal agency. They have ties to them all, and it seems as if they've been manipulated by Blakeney, which means, unfortunately, that Dalton, or at least the Baron, Dom, Prince, whatever they want to call themselves, of Dalton, may very well be behind us. I'm hoping that's not the case, but Blakeney, which is the reason why we couldn't move against them specifically for questioning, without the Primogen, or specifically Prince Jackson's word, as one of their privy council, one of their senators. They hold a position of power with another independent state that is nominally within the tower. And for those of you who were there in Indianapolis, either in all actuality or just riding in someone else's skin and someone else's life, that statement is a PTSD response, because when sitting with the actual Archbishop Antoinette, she told you that with inside of the next year, that they would have a presence in every major city.
Guys, do you remember Memoriam? What that one said?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, but they always posture like that. Not saying that it doesn't have credence, but that's ho ho ho, I'm the commander shit that they always say.
Well, it seems they're putting their money where their mouth is.
Well, we already knew that they were coming out of Indianapolis. And I guarantee you 100% that it had something to do with whatever went down in Dalton. Because they had me. They're still looking for me. They've got whatever's left of my coterie.
Does a wolf and a dragon and a fox, does that mean anything to you?
Your vision, right? The wolf, the fox, and the dragon.
Yeah.
Well, I think we figured
Also a
out.
Chinese restaurant.
And a Chinese restaurant. Well, I think we figured out. And the fox, the trickster spirit. That might be a traitor among us.
What Chinese restaurant?
Out of character, I don't remember the name you told me. Do you want me to roll for it?
Sure.
What should I roll?
For memory, let's say composure and insight.
Okay. Let me rouse my composure. Nice.
You remember looking down on it, you remember seeing the name with a multiple, and then it pops into your head like a light going on. There's a dancing mischievous behind your eyes for anyone looking on as the words 3 happiness tumble out of your mouth.
Something about a tree. No. Happiness. Yeah, 3 happiness. That's the one. Do they have good dim sum?
Anybody have any insight on the three happiness? Because Damien looks as if he's been punched in the gut. That's fucking hell. The three happinesses in Chinatown.
I could go for an egg roll straight up, dude.
We're not supposed to go into Chinatown.
Why not?
Just part of Jackson's edict. But we need a win, so I guess we're gonna have to ignore that for now. There's no real reason for us not to. Hell, Shane hangs down there sometimes.
As they're saying this, you see, well, what's mobile of her face to do so? Her jaw kind of tightens up, and she whispers, "Sunshay." That's Sunshay's territory. Frick.
Who?
She's the Tremir's version of. She kind of looks over at Alexa. No offense.
I don't take any offense. You just said that she's beautiful, she's entertaining, she's fun.
I'm glad that's what you took out of it. But, yeah. We have to typically keep her on a very short leash. I don't know what stake she'd have tied into this, but that's her territory. I mean, she's not my biggest fan, let's say, but I could probably reason with her a little bit.
Alright, so Damien stands up, suddenly considerably more satiated. We need to get there, we need to get them back. And looking to Hestia, Lucio, and Dizzy, then to Clyde, is he to be trusted? Has he been right about anything before? I don't want us to going down there starting a war with the outsider Tremere Scourge. Unless, of course, we have a good reason to.
Don't look at me, it was her. I point to Dizzy.
Fuck if I
I'm
know.
just a messenger.
Wait, you told him about three happiness?
No, I was trying to find her because I found some weird Team Bloods, and I remember that she liked the Team Bloods, and then I saw the restaurant, and the wolf, and the dragon, and the box.
Wait, hold on.
Dude,
You said weird. What was weird about them?
I think they were being like controlled by somebody, so some full-blooded, and they were all like hippy-dippy. They tried to do some open magic with me and tried to. I mean, they were good people, but it was
They were trying to do
weird.
sorcery on you.
Yeah, they saw me all covered in blood, and they were like, "Dude, you probably need some help." And then
Did they say
something about Sylvia.
Oh my
they were like,
freaking
"You know Sylvia."
If there was the rage, the fifth ball, and it looks like she might vibrate apart for a second. So let me get this straight. First, she comes into my home and tries to kill me. Meanwhile, teaching Thin Bloods our sacred freaking magics. Oh, that bitch is dead when I get my hands on her neck.
Dizzy looks at Damien while this is going on and shrugs and says, I don't even know where the fuck Chinatown is.
Oh yeah, I guess you're gonna have to find out tonight. Whatever this is, it's clearly pointing us in one direction. You got Tremere Scourge, Tremere Attacker, I guess stronger than you, right, Hestia? Who is training Thin Blood in Tremere magic.
Let's just
And it
say
has something to
Deuceable.
do.
She's right under Deuceable in power.
Great. So you have the Tremere Seneschal, and the Tremere Scourge, and we have to go down to Chinatown, which is technically outside of our jurisdiction as far as such things go, because that's where danger to you, and he looks at you, Dizzy, is coming from. Which links back to Laura Blakeney and Theist, who is a multi-state, near-national organization which has ties to several branches of the federal government.
Yeah, but I mean, it could be an unrelated danger to me. We don't know that not the Anarchs, whoever those fuckers were that we had. We don't know that they're there.
Do you have another place where they might be right now?
I mean, I have no clue. It seems a little, pardon my French, just a little bit crazy to go off on, we know the name of a Chinese restaurant. Maybe they're there.
Well, it's not crazy, man. It's, as they say, you are not paranoid if they are actually out to get you. It's just like sometimes I get these things and people whisper in my sweet little ears. Yeah, but it happens. But as I said, it was you, not me.
Is there anything we can do to get a little more clarity?
Looking to you, Hestia. You know these people. You know Sylvia and Sanche. What should we do?
Well, Sylvia's not
quick question.
Because I have her
Sorry,
staked
go ahead.
at the.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, extra question.
Out of character, share the senses. Can I share the senses through a picture, or do I have to have like line of sight?
Line of sight. Yeah, line of sight. And of course, you happen to have a sample of their blood. It increases the potential distance.
Okay, I can tell them. Well, if I go there and try to wait for a little bit, somebody going in, I may be able to ride along. We still have to go.
Alexa raises her hand. Ooh. Pastor, you were saying? Because Damien did ask, what could they do? How else? What's your idea? Being as you know both of them, you know Sylvia and Sanche, and Clyde is suggesting surveillance, though his variety of surveillance.
Well, like I said, Sylvia is currently not a problem because she's staked at the Haven and in a locked box right now, which is the best place for her, so I don't kill her. But yeah, Sanche, on the other hand, typically is well behaved when she's with Erecto, which is why Deuceable normally pairs her. Though, I wonder if Sylvia was working alone, because when I called her on it and I surprised her, it forced her to act. So I think she had somebody waiting for me to drop my wards at the Haven, but I never found anybody afterwards. So maybe when she didn't come out, they disappeared.
Wait, so your member of your clan set you up with a trap, but you didn't find the other members of her trap, which means that they're still out there?
Well, out of the two, I think she was the more dangerous problem. But yeah, I don't know who else she would have had helping her. But now that you're saying that she's teaching Thin Bloods our magic, she probably had some of them waiting.
Was there anything weird that happened at your Haven? Outside of her trying to kill you inside?
Oh, Jesus, let's make a list.
Did we ever tell you what happens at that Haven? You're gonna have to be a lot more specific about what kind of thing.
Well, this is
Fucked up.
the reason that we are fighting so hard to keep our Haven. The reason that everybody seems to want it is because it's on a nexus point, a fairly strong nexus point. And I'm sure you understand what that would mean for magic users like the Tremere or others that can access that sort of power. I have kind of considered myself a guardian of it because I don't want it used for ill.
And
so I'm trying to
add a little more clarity to what else goes on there. As I'm sure you might guess, there's a lot of dead souls. It's like the gates of fucking hell. And there's one big spirit there in particular.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That one has a problem with the werewolves and tends to draw the werewolves in, trying to kill it. Which, brings me back to the fact that the reason that somebody wants the Haven is because they want to use it to control the werewolves and use them as a weapon.
Oh, okay. So anything happened weird tonight outside of you having an assassination attempt? Me being brought back to unliving? Anything else happen at your Haven? Near your Haven? Tonight. You said that she had a trap waiting for you. And you didn't spring it, and you didn't see it.
The convergence happened tonight. It raised the power level of the Haven significantly, which would have echoed out into a fairly large area around the Haven and probably affected some other things. She's kind of racking her brain because it's been a lot. Oh, the crime scene at the van. Yeah, I forgot. Sorry, it's been a long night. After I stashed Sylvia's body in the morgue, and I was walking back around, trying to go back inside, I noticed at that van that Dizzy mentioned earlier, that two people were on the ground and there was a lady standing over them and they were being arrested, but I couldn't get any closer because obviously I looked like I looked before I drank the blood, which was much worse than this, obviously. So I didn't want to get too close, but yeah, there were people being arrested on the ground and lots and lots of cops. So yeah,
Okay. That's a lot. That's a lot. Yeah. These motherfuckers deal with so much shit, says Blue as he dances behind Lucio's chair. And by dance, it's literally an old school 1980s pimp walk, one hand in pocket, as he leans and stalks.
Anything useful to contribute?
Yeah, I got a lot to contribute. Of course, that's gonna cost you. We got.
Hold that thought. Damien?
No, and I don't want you. That's gonna end up in one way or the other.
Yeah, I've already learned that. Anyway, anyone can see ghosts? You might want to use that right now. Blue has something he apparently wants to say.
Because you were saying.
Well, I was just gonna ask, like, shake up this nexus or kill it or something, and have it tell us where these guys are.
That ain't a badass idea. Of course, you know, everything has a price. If y'all ain't willing to pay, you is what you is, and you get what you get.
And what's the price this time?
Well, I'd like a place I can call my own. I don't mind sharing, but I gotta have my name on the lease.
I mean, you're already stuck with me.
Yeah, that's right. I'm stuck with you. But I need a place where even if you decide to renege and summon down the lightning and the thunder and all that sort of pain, that I have a place to lay my head to this side of the bed. Know what I mean? Man's gotta have a place to stay. I want to be considered an upstanding American citizen, and that means I need to own property.
How does my apartment sound?
Sound like a lame ass bachelor pad. You probably don't even come pick up behind yourself.
Oh, so now you're going to be picky about where you're going to stay.
Now, I did say no. You asked me how this sounds. That's exactly how it sounds. You seem like a wild stallion, getting out there, getting after them ladies, bringing home different strays every night. I don't mind if I do. So you made that official, I'll do what I can. Although, I will tell you this. Kind of a freebie, a taster, as you will. Chinatown ain't all about your kind. There are other things down there. And they ain't too friendly. Crazy one over there got a good idea. Need somebody to spy, scope the place out, time what you want to do, and make sure that's something that you even want to be bothered with. Ain't like the three happenings ain't nothing more than a gate to hell anyway.
You mean like our haven?
Oh, your haven is a... Yeah, Do you know that people consider Lake Michigan as big as an ocean? Some of the first colonizers through this area thought that they had hit the ocean when they saw it. Until they actually hit the ocean and realized how small it is. Your place is like that. It seems this huge and wonderful big thing, considering all the spirits and ghosts you got running around there. And how easy it is to go from this side to the next and back and forth. But that place, Chinatown, 3 Happiness, that's an actual ocean. Be a perfect place to hide so nobody can snoop with your vampire powers and see-through walls. Too much static, too much interference. And too many lupines, too. That's what you guys call them, right? That's what y'all call them, right? Y'all call them lupines. Y'all don't call them Muratha or Garu, right?
Uratha is what Forcipules calls them. Lupines, that is something I'm familiar with.
Me too, man.
So yeah, Gate to Hell, Fill of Demons, and Uratha, lupines. Damn changeling down there too. It's a magical place. You know what I mean? It's like going to New York. Oh, it's a big melting pot. Everybody get in on that madness.
Well, Damien, since I know you can't hear him, allow me to fill you in on what we just learned. 3 Happiness, a melting pot of the supernatural world. Lupines, changelings, demons, ghosts, vampires. And apparently it's even more of a gate to hell than our own haven. So yeah, we're going there. We're going into some deep shit.
We need to find out if there's anything valuable down there, anything useful. It's too close to sunrise for us to do anything about it right now. Why don't you guys come up with a plan? I'll work on things from my end and keep Jackson from throwing his lot in with the wolf pack. And then I'm not sure how much time I can buy with him. But then we'll see what ties this 3 Happiness has to your friends who are captured or dead, to the Dustborn, to the Lupines, to Lord Blakeney. How long do you think you all will need?
Well, obviously I need a couple nights to heal, but I know we don't have a couple nights. What I was going to suggest is give him something else to focus on, like Sylvia teaching the Dustborns magic.
Or what about the Lodestone?
The what?
Hestia, you remember that, right?
Yes, I do.
I fucking remember.
The Lodestone was given to Dizzy's coterie, and it's what brought them this direction and what got her people captured.
Okay, so what's the connection with this Lodestone?
It breaks warding. It's its own gateway through the worlds, so it can create a hole in even the strongest of wards.
It's pretty messed up, man.
and lupines are drawn to power. It puts off wattage like you're in a stadium with lights blazing.
This just keeps getting better and better. So you got a supernatural skeleton key and supercharged engine all in one. We've got a gateway to hell that you guys live in, but we got an even bigger gateway to hell where another Tremere has control. That's a lot. It's a lot. That's a lot. I don't see why you guys don't just go take a suntan.
Right?
Alright, so I'll go buy time with Jackson. We need to figure out a way to negotiate this, to get to the bottom of this, to find out what the 3 happiness has to do with the skeleton key and super engine that will draw lupines to it. The 3 happiness, which sounds like the complete opposite of what happiness should be. Find Laura Blakeney or who took her. Am I missing anything? Any major thing?
I'd like to beat the shit out of Genghis just for no reason, if we could add that to the agenda.
He is number 10 on our local red list. Unfortunately, it seems as if he's being protected by somebody.
I mean, there's also the thing with, like, the Putanesca, I guess, but that's not really directly related to any of this.
You mean the Hecata?
Yeah, them. They want our haven too. But they've kind of been accidentally thwarted by the Sabbat.
Oh, God. This is the cluster of clusterfucks.
Right?
This is why we can't get anything done. We'd love to be hounds and we'd love to do our job, but every time we try to do our job, guess what happens? Somebody tries to attack and take our haven.
Okay, so first things first, get to your haven. Make sure your doors are locked. Get some security in place. I'll go see Jackson. You all come up with a plan on how you're going to deal with the 3 happiness while I deal with Jackson and the pack. Find out if it's even worth dedicating more attention and more focus to the 3 happiness, or can we just all be working the streets, beating the bushes, keeping the wolf pack at bay, and finding out who took or who helped Laura Blakeney escape. Because I don't know about if you guys noticed or not, most of the glass is broken out, not in.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that last part?
Most of the glass is broken out, not in.
See, I didn't think the Anarchs had anything to do with it. It's too convenient.
Who got inside and potentially unstaked either her or her friends?
I mean, the time frame, though, they'd have had to have eyes here before that.
Yeah, this was secure.
Crazy question.
Yeah, which I found out after the fact.
But since we're
I mean,
all...
you all know what my decision will be about where I want to focus my efforts. I made the mistake of letting Laura live once before, because I thought we could use her. I thought she'd be more valuable alive than dead, but no. Next time I see her fucking face, I'm gonna take back what she took from me.
just hear me out. Crazy question. Would the wolf pack have possibly, using Sheng, set this up because they want rid of you and the other hounds? You said power reverts to them if we fuck up too much. So this seems like a perfect way to get that, get that to happen. Make us look like idiots, which puts everybody, including you, on the chopping block by stealing the thing that you were working on.
There are some additional ingredients to this recipe that I like the idea. I did ask him I even offered him a chance to run if he was behind it. But the whole time he had his mic open to whoever this G person is, so he couldn't admit anything. Because usually I'm the type of person that people just talk to.
Speaking of G, where did she come from? Because you know what? During that whole thing playing at the hospital, she was sending me text messages and pictures of camera feeds she probably shouldn't have had access to. How the hell did that happen?
I don't know how Jackson found her, but she's one of the sewer rats and a damn good hacker. I don't know who brought her to Jackson's attention, but she has been helping us as basically an electronic hound. There still hasn't been any information from Stryker's Empyrean party that we've been able to find anywhere. And we know that it's out there, so we've been trying to track it down to its source. Stryker claims to not have any hand in regards to the news choppers that were there at the Empyrean. He even passed a few tests from DuSable proving his loyalty and honesty. He really did know about the choppers.
Hold on. I look at Clyde, and then I look back at Damien. Maybe he didn't. We had a... Oh, no. I'm sorry, Damien, I really am. But there is a fairly high-ranking member of the tower that has been trying to out Kindred. Remember that whole chase that we had downtown getting Laura in the first place? Well,
yeah,
that got caught on video. And some other stuff got caught on video. And the only reason we know that it got caught on video is because somebody got a USB drive full of clips of said camera footage, and our lovely Clyde found out who sent those clips of video footage to the news.
Yeah, that they were trying to cause a masquerade breach, but it was a setup. I mean, it's kind of contained now, but we'll see where it takes us.
Who?
Orkly fellow. What's his name? I forgot.
Ballard? And with that fact that the bank of the city has been connected with an attempted masquerade breach and may be behind more, with the promise of heading into hell, or the idea of preparing to head into hell, with the missing Laura Blakeney in the wind, with most of the obvious and less than obvious enemies aligned against the coterie out in the open. This is as dramatically appropriate a moment to end it as possible. So I want to thank you all. We look forward to seeing you guys next week for the season finale, episode 6, where at least anywhere from 10 to 40% of most of these should be tied up in a way that helps the coterie, or at least hurts them enough that this will seem like a reprieve. Good night, everybody. See you guys next week.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.